The next lesson we're going to do is comparing fractions. So let's start off with the question, which one is larger, 1/4 or 2/4? And so probably the easiest way to figure this out is we could draw some pi. So of course we like pi. So what we're going to do is we're going to divide them up into 4 chunks because the denominator always tells us what the whole is divided up into. So I'm going to just draw a line down and a line across. You can see we've got our pi now in 4, should be equal chunks. So if this person has 1/4, we simply color in one of the parts. So that's 1/4. The second pi, same type of pi, same size, and we're going to divide them up into the same size pieces because it is also in quarters as well. So the whole piece is being, or the whole pie is being divided up into 4. The difference in this case is there's going to be 2/4. So by looking at this, it's pretty clear that the one that has the larger numerator, so in this case, 2/4 is larger than 1/4. Okay, the 2 is bigger than 1, so therefore in this question here, the 1/4 is smaller than the 2/4. So in this case, our alligator mouth opens to the bigger one, to 2/4. Let's quick slide over to the next slide. And what we're going to do here is we're going to look at a situation that's a little bit different. So the reason why this is a little bit different is you're going to notice the denominators are no longer the same. So we're going to see how we handle that. So in this case, if I was drawing a picture of this, and draw another pi, this one here, we're going to draw another pi. This one, the denominator tells us it's divided up into 4. And in this case, we've got 2 pieces out of the 4 pieces. The second pi is a little bit different. It isn't divided up into 4, but the denominator tells us it's divided up into 8. So I divided it up into 4, and then I'm going to split each one in half. And you get something just like that. I'm going to grab my red pen. You can see we're going to, let's try that again. Get my red pen. I'm just going to shade in now 4. And so the question is, which one is greater? Which one would you get more pi if you were asking for pi at Christmas time? And when you look at this, you can see you get 4 pieces here. This one you get 2 pieces. But in both cases, you actually get half the pi. So in this question here, 2/4 would be equal to 4/8. So one way we could do this is by drawing pictures. That's what we did here. A second way you could do this is you could get these to be equivalent fractions with the same denominator, cutting them up into the same size pieces. So in this case, you could ask yourself, hey, 2/4 and 4/8, how could we multiply the 4 to something so that we get the same denominator as the other one? That would be 8. So you can see pretty simply here, if you take your 2/4 and you multiply the denominator by 2, that would give us 8. But to keep it equivalent, we have to also multiply the top by 2, which would give us 4. And you can see that on the other side, we have 4/8. So if we keep it as 4/8, you can see those two are definitely equal. So 2/4 is the same as 4/8. Get the same denominator, and then you can see which numerator is bigger or smaller, or in this case, the same. Let's look at the last one. So last one, we're not even going to draw pictures. We're going to just try and do this just straight looking and trying to find a common denominator. So in this case, I would say it's a little bit tougher because a lot of us would look at this and say, I'm not sure what a common denominator here would be so that these both would have a common denominator of the same number. So one of the tricks that I often do is I just go below and I just start writing multiples. So I start with 8, goes up by 8, so that's 16, 24, 32, Just keep going. I'm not sure where I need to end. Now I'm going to do the same thing with 3. I'm going to try and find a spot where they match. So 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, still going, haven't found one, 24, there it is. There is that special number. I want to get a denominator of 24 for each of these. So I ask myself, just use red here, 8 times what gives me that 24? In this case, we know it's 3. So 8 times 3 is 24, so we have to do the same thing to the top to keep this fraction equivalent. 5 times 3 is 15. Let's go to the other side. 3 times what gives me 24? Well, 8 times 3 is 24, so 3 times 8 is going to give us 24. So to keep it equivalent, we have to multiply the top by 8 as well. 2 times 8 is 16. Hey, these are really close. If they have the same size pieces, so in this case they're both pies are cut up into 24 pieces, I want the one with 16. So our greater than symbol is going to open up towards the 16.